They've gone again. It's every fucking scene you come. Hi everyone, welcome to the 6th edition of our annual Trading Congress. The virtual trade camp is back. Congratulations for taking advantage of this huge opportunity. You'll have access to the very best education resources and people to help you succeed in this market. Join us every day this week. You won't want to miss a thing. The best time really is now. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce you to a dear friend of mine and MatchChain CEO, Petrix Barbosa.
Hello, everyone. Really nice to be here. Really great to be with you, Rhys, my friend.
Mate, what an absolute pleasure to have you on. And what we're going to cover today is super, super important. Now, I want to make sure the viewers get the absolute maximum out of this. I want them to know about you. I want them to know about the incredible things that you're doing over at MatchChain, but also to kind of cover the industry and the topic in general, because it's really not spoken about enough for how important it is in this space. And I think what you guys are doing over there and the success that you've achieved recently really kind of encapsulates and embodies that. So how does MatchChain's AI improve kind of data privacy in this space?
Yeah, it's a topic that is very interesting, and it's the hot topic in the world right now. AI, data in general. Data is always a hidden hot topic that we always have in the whole internet, in Web3. But when you think about the intersection about blockchain and AI, that's where things get really, really interesting. We always talk about blockchain is one of the most human creation ever done, right? This is not me saying, it says by anthropologists with PhD, because blockchain cuts all the middlemen and makes sure that we have this real human interaction through a very technological tool. But AI is the tool that can help us to be non-biased, and it can be trained by our real behaviors and things that are like on and off chain, our general digital footprint. So it's a topic that is very interesting, very delicate. So many formulas to be done and so many nice quantum solutions. But I believe that we are in an evolutionary process, and we're gonna get there with the right.
Yeah, I mean, really beautifully and eloquently put. I think it's something that's got, you know, so much attention at the moment as well. It's something so powerful, you know, that's entered in our lifetime, and really the kind of scope of it is so either misunderstood, or the boundaries of it, which a lot of people really don't know, right? So, I mean, really, when we kind of focus on those points, what do you think some of the real key challenges are, you know, facing companies in a rapidly expanding and complex space like AI?
I think one of the biggest problems are companies trying to rush. We saw, I don't want to name it, but you have to name. Of course, OpenAI or Closed AI, they are getting very big, very grown. Like the growth is ridiculous, expansional. We see what's happening, and we see other big companies trying to catch up because they missed the wave a little bit. So we saw what happened with Microsoft and Gemini. That was a disaster product, almost broke the whole reputation of the company because they are trying to rush on AI capabilities or what they can do, what the model can offer. I think that's the first mistake that we can make. If you try to train an AI model with not accurate, not real informations, that could have some strong consequences. So I believe that the main mistake that they're doing this right now is trying to race to catch up just because of monetary reasons and not because of real value. So if you take slow and you do it right and you do with data that is real, unique and authentic data from the users that want to be part of it, want to consent and understand themselves better, I think that's the way that we're going to get the best and safest model.
And I suppose in a lot of respects, you can kind of understand it, right? You know, players that this is moving so quickly. I mean, it caught some of the biggest companies out in the entire space right now. They're then trying to balance, okay, we don't want to be left behind, but ultimately, if you set off on the wrong foot, you're doing the wrong things from the start, then that's just going to compound it worse over time, right? So, I mean, I think, you know, I remember speaking to you about this years ago, right? When you kind of conceived this idea. And I think that was very early, you know, before it became anywhere near this kind of mainstream chatter. How difficult was it for you to kind of not want to, you know, run before you can walk?
I mean, it was not that difficult because we are not just a startup in the Web2 space going to Silicon Valley and want to launch any company to make IPO. We really have to count on the market. And when we started to build RedChain, we were in the bear market. So we have no rush during the bear market, during the bear cycle. So it's pretty easy to make a decision that I don't need to rush on anything, and super, let's say, straightforward to stick with the mission that we need to acquire and invite as much as users as possible. We need to create the biggest user pool, user traffic that we can have ever seen in a Web3 space in a single layer, and start to copy or mirror the roadmap at this and the whole trajectory from Web2 into Web3. So for me, it was pretty simple. It was a bear market, so let's build consistency. Let's build a project that works. Let's create the infrastructure. Let's create the projects around the infrastructure that people would like to use in the bull or in the bear, regardless. That's where we came to almost 20 million users already.
We're going to get onto this in a little bit, but the growth has been insane, right? But one of the things I want to kind of go back to here is a timing issue. Right now, I know, you know, we've been discussing this with, you know, our dear friend and both of ours, right, Crypto Burb, and, you know, you hear it all the time. So many companies don't kind of approach it. Bear markets are for building, right? They're for doubling down, they're for learning, they're for building, they're for consolidating. So you're prepared for the bull run. The problem is if you're late to the game, if you get your timing off, you find yourself kind of, you know, chasing your tail. And like you said earlier, really dangerous position to be in a very kind of expanding industry like this, where, you know, you're late, you're rushing, and then the mistakes just compound over time, right? So, you know, I think you must have had some good foresight in this. I know, you know, you put so much into this in terms of working on the timing of this, making sure that Match Chamber is just ready to maximize this bull run. And so you guys must be super excited by the current market conditions, right? But one of the things with data, right, and AI, and this kind of a little bit of a disconnect somewhere is how do we ensure that the data we provide to AI is safe?
Well, it's just really difficult to answer this question, but going just a little bit back on the touch point that you did about timing, I used to say that time is one of the most important words, the key word in crypto, in blockchain. Because like I came from the investor side as well, invested over 250 protocols before, and I saw amazing projects that I said, like this, I want to give the best or the biggest ticket size that I can because I believe in the projects, I believe in the vision. And suddenly a project that was completely different and nothing did like way more revenue was able to hold in the market to be alive for way longer than another project that was fundamentally much better. And this is too much because of the timing that you launch, and not just the time of the market, the bull and bear. Is it the industry? Is it the people? Is it the retail or the current Web3 users ready for that kind of application yet? So even though you want to go back to 2017 or 18, you had like reserve protocols, so many good protocols about money that was trying to help Venezuela or whatever other countries, good solutions that today would be, if they launch or relaunch, it would be something that the world is ready for. So it's not just about the market timing, it's about
Mhm.
the user's timing. Is the community or the users educated well enough to understand that this solution is a thing? So
Mhm.
the data part, we need to educate and need to users to understand that our data, our digital
Mhm.
footprint is all we have. No matter how good looking, ugly, fat, skinny, doesn't matter you are, we have a lot of commercial value. If you spend 24/7 behind the computer playing games or watching ads or any other things, you have a lot of value for certain companies and people that judge your commercial value without to tell you how much you're worth it. So it's time for us to understand that
Mhm.
this is a thing, but you're not gonna understand it reading the book or just watching a video. It's within the time. You need to see how much you're worth it. You need to see how much you're living at the table. You need to see how much you lost
Mhm.
in conversion already about your self behave, about yourself things,
Mhm.
your habits that you do daily. I'm talking even going to a restaurant to watch a game from
Mhm.
your favorite sports team, all of this, you are a perfect half for someone else,
Mhm.
for other half. So how can you start to empower yourself, making sure that your data is in one single place that is protected on a black box, and then you decide what you unlock, who you unleash or not, to the world or to companies to know who you are or how good you are as something.
I mean, beautiful answer. I mean, but obviously in this space, I have to bow to your expertise, especially around anything with this, and especially with data. But something that really resonated with me was the previous point you made. You know, you've been a very successful investor. I think you have an incredibly good, calm approach to the markets, and I think what you're kind of saying there is that it's not just understanding timing and the markets, but it's understanding your demographic. Ultimately, you are providing a service, a product for people, right? And you need to understand who they are, what they want it, how they want it, right? And again, it all comes to giving yourself that time to push it forward. And the other word that really resonates with me, and especially with us over at the Bird Nest, is education. You know, crypto is probably one of the most notorious spaces for people FOMOing and pumping into things that they don't necessarily understand, right? And ultimately, again, I think, and we always say this, henceforth why we're saying the best time is now, right, for this to bring together the best minds, the best companies to give people these wonderful insights that we do here over Trading Congress, is because we're at the start of something potentially incredibly, incredibly special here, and the time really to be spent on the education, on doubling down, was building up to this so that you're prepared. And if you're not in that situation, then it's about surrounding yourself with the best people, the best communities, people that can fill those gaps for you in the knowledge and the information that you have. So while it's a little bit
Yeah.
off topic, one thing I've always, one of many things I respect about you, Petrix, is you are an incredibly good investor. You really take time to know the companies you invest in. And what you said about that, really kind of struck a chord, how you would see a company that would have, say, arguably better fundamentals, right? But their market timing's off. You understand that, right? And you understand that bringing this product to market at that time, what are the other kind of key things you look at? Do you really look at the team? Do you look at the space as a whole? Just as a little bit of, insider insight, not just for the, for the guests and the viewers, but for me as well, with your incredible track record of investment.
I guess it's all about storytelling as well. So, what story are you telling to the public? What story is a product telling, right? And what problem are you fixing? Are you really fixing some
Mhm.
problem that are relevant? Is someone else doing it? What is your competition on this? Also, I like people that build projects on trends, but those projects that they build on trends, they don't last much because a trend is always over at some point. So I'm way more confident when I look for projects that are trying to predict the
Mhm.
next trend. Because when you follow a trend, you're
Mhm.
already late. You are on the trend. So you need to predict what is the
Mhm.
next trend. And my opinion, the next trend is identity, right? Is when you can make yourself unique and leverage your data. Of course, right now the trend is just memes because
Mhm.
there's nothing really relevant out there. But that's one of the things that will look the most. Look to projects and to visions that they're trying to predict a trend, but I try to fit to the word purpose. Just to give another example. Of course, it looks like cliche, and an easy answer, but AI protocols, AI projects combined with blockchain and identity, it's very,
Mhm.
very, very powerful. And don't underestimate the power of this, because going back to the world right now, the world is ready for it. The world is all
Mhm.
talking about AI. They're not talking about Doge. They're not talking about
Mhm.
chill guy. They're
Mhm.
talking about AI. So the boom on AI in crypto
Mhm.
haven't come yet, but the world is ready for it. I see like AWS, NVIDIA, all those companies, they're just talking about AI, how we can do, how can rush the competition. So what is that the world is fully ready and excited about it, that in crypto hasn't
Mhm.
fully picked up yet, right? You're gonna see like the next chains, other chains already have some information that on one chain call is starting with ARB, we'll start to talk and be about
Mhm.
AI in the future. Because this is inevitable. Every single chain, every single project to have AI, and I support them as well to do it, and any other one that will look into it. So that's my perspective on it. Try to predict
Mhm.
the next trend instead of
Mhm.
follow a trend.
Yeah, I think it's really great advice. I think there's a very, very big difference in how you approach the markets as, say, for example, a trader or an investor, right? And CryptoBird being one of the very best trend following traders that I know, is much happier to get in later to a project to know that, the trend is established. That's your friend as it starts to run to a point. But we all know technical analysis, versus investment. They're two very different approaches, and what you're saying is you're looking to establish what are these trends, what is the information, what have I got in terms of data that's backing up that this is going to be the next big thing. Then find the very best people in the space, find the very best projects that have got the timing, that understand the market, and then that's what really kind of triggers you towards them, which I think for anybody listening is really, really super advice. So I had to throw that one in there. I was really, really keen for myself as well as the viewers, right? But I think before, I really want to give people some insight into what you guys do. But before that, what about one of the big questions I always hear coming up with AI is, AI is going to replace people's jobs, right? They're going to replace the workforce. We've got struggling jobs numbers across the world. Like, what are we going to do when more people are out of work? There's less resources, less opportunities. I'm sure you hear that a lot as well, right? Now, what's the kind of truth behind that, or certainly the truth behind it that you see?
I think the truth really doesn't matter at this point. What really matters is what about to happen, and if it's like inevitable, unavoidable, we need to deal with the fact, and you need to prepare for it. No me, right? So AI is the future, is inevitable. Blockchain will happen like on the
Mhm.
global scale level, and we cannot
Mhm.
avoid this anymore. So prepare properly for this. But also, I disagree that they
Mhm.
will take over jobs, because we are not even creative enough to understand of kind of new jobs
Mhm.
categories, or kind of literally professions will be
Mhm.
created because of this. So go back in the 90s about the email. Everybody say, I don't need an email in my company. The mail
Mhm.
guy works perfectly. And the email will take over about all mailman guys. The
Mhm.
mailman will disappear because email will take over. No, they coexist. But every single company now
Mhm.
needs to have an email, and mail still
Mhm.
works, right? Uh, so I think you need to understand and start to learn how to properly use and
Mhm.
leverage those tools, because it's not about AI replacing you. It's about you not knowing how to
Mhm.
use AI, not knowing how to leverage those technologies. I think you can have some personal private example between yourself or someone in your family that it's being a traditional finance, or it's being not even
Mhm.
familiar with computer, but had to learn about computer, have to learn about technology or different things to adapt and learn the new profession. Because if not, you're going to be outdated and lose money,
Mhm.
right? So I think it's about this. You need to adapt with the time, not even keep discussing and wasting time if they will replace it or take my
Mhm.
job or not, but learn how to use this tool better, because it's coming, is inevitable, and I think it will be great. So many new
Mhm.
professions will be created. Look at social media today. We have a bunch of influencers on social media. We have a bunch of digital models, only fans or only friends or
Mhm.
whatever it is. So technology gives you the opportunity to create new professions that we had no idea that would be possible to do. So the same way that really thousands and thousands of jobs were created, they were just replaced for a better way of engagement, understanding behaviors. And that's what I believe AI and blockchain can do to us.
I mean, what more can you say than that, right? That was incredibly well put. I think to really kind of sum it up, people should be focusing more on the opportunity rather than the threat, right? Now, I think one thing before we kind of cross over and we want to know a bit more about, we want to know about MatchChain and the exciting things you've got coming up is, I would say maybe the one area that worries me a little bit is how late governments typically are to the game with technology, with upgrades, with data and stuff like that, right? So I think that's maybe where we might be able to see a little bit of a squeeze, but then, or maybe more of a kind of more leaning on the private sector and maybe more the creation of government-based jobs where they need to bring in experts in this space to really help kind of reshape, and boost efficiency here as well. So I think, like you said, you never know until these things play out, but it's just such an exciting time. It really is such an exciting time. And I think, ultimately, what a time to be alive. So without further ado, because I know there's lots and lots of people tuned into this right now that want to know what's coming up for MatchChain. What are the next steps for MatchChain? What have you got coming up? I know I've got a little bit of an inside track, so I'm just going to, but there's so many incredible things that have happened recently. Please give us an update, and then what's next for you guys?
Well, MatchChain's been working non-stop since you know me. You know how hard we work, or how barely we sleep for this project, and fully committed to the mission, to the vision, and to the community. We are working to bring the project live as soon as possible. Project live, when I mean this, I mean the question that everybody up and drop every day on Twitter, on Telegram, when token, when TG, when listing. So we are working on this as soon as possible, and as soon that is possible and strategically right. So me as a CEO and founder, I would like, and we are ready enough to see this live yesterday, if it would be possible. But we have to work on the right time of things and make sure that whenever this day comes, we do at least the least mistake as possible, right? So trying to get together with the best in the industry, best advisors, talking to every single exchange daily, and everything going so well. Meanwhile, the best we can do is keep working, keep delivering. Just yesterday, in the past 24 hours, we were the number 4th chain award in unique active wallets. Just the first place was OPBNB, Polygon, Solana, OPBNB, Near, and us in 4th place, ahead of Base, ahead of Polygon, ahead of Arbitrum, ahead of everybody in the 24 hours, which means now, recently, it's happening constantly. On the 30 days as well, top 5, top 6, 7 days, the same thing. But you have only 15 projects deployed so far. We have over 70 deploying, coming into negotiations. So our user base are very active and engaging, and more projects that come, we can simply just introduce to this new project the current user base that will be active. So that's what I have to do. We need to keep showing our power, showing that we are here to onboard as many as users as possible. Users generate data train the AI model that will give you digital footprint, your commercial score. So let's keep working, come to MatchChain, build on us, ask for support, get in touch, join the community, and there'll be a lot of things coming.
I mean, I'm excited, right? It's been just an absolute pleasure to kind of be part, a very, very minuscule part of this journey with you, to know you as a person, to know the company, to see your vision come to fruition, to see the team that you've built, and to see MatchChain up there, like you say, in the top 4, 5 in the world. There's some pretty big hitters you're talking about there, Polygon, BNB. I mean, the fact that you're ahead of Base, right? And, you look at all the coverage that has got. I mean, it's an incredibly exciting time for you guys, right? And I mean, look, I know your work ethic. I know the work ethic of your team. These things don't come easily, right? But I mean, obviously, first of all, a huge congratulations for all your hard work. It is always nice to see these things start to pay off. But like you say, this is really the beginning of the journey for you guys right now. You're establishing this. You've got wonderful following, great community. You've got the interest of pretty much anyone in the space who's really interested in this, or not even kind of a specialist in this area. You're making so many waves. I mean, I suppose one of the challenges for you guys now is, like you say, you're going to onboard a load more new companies onto this. You want to see the very best companies, the best builders and that come onto there. And what we're going to do, by the way, everyone, obviously we'll have all the details and bits and pieces, how you can get in touch with Match Chain, Petrix. Obviously make sure you're giving these guys a follow. There's just so many exciting things coming up now. I mean, recently, obviously, you've partnered with some amazing people as well. I mean, did you want to give us maybe a little bit of a teaser or an insight into that?
Yes, like the goal is for my chain is not to compete against any other chain right now. I'm really tired about this island dilemma. Come to my island, build your product, build your people, open your business, so my island is better than yours. And then suddenly your island is not working anymore. You need to create a bridge, a ZK, roll up, whatever. So I truly believe that the end user, which is, we're talking about the billions that we hope to come to the internet, they don't care which blockchain is behind the application. When you download an app, you don't check, oh, this is Python, I'm not going to use it. I'm a Java Maxi. Bye. You don't do this. You shouldn't do this in crypto as well. So my whole point is we are truly focusing on boarding as much as users as possible via global brands partnership, where the end user will not even care which blockchain is behind the way that they are coming on board. They can sign up just with their email. We create a wallet for them immediately. And I don't call wallet that we're going to give to them, it's a backpack, because it's where they're going to carry all their assets, the information, their data, their benefits, their rewards, and maybe currency, airdrops, whatever it is. Because a wallet in crypto is not just a wallet, it's a backpack. It's how you carry personally your assets. So this way is like in the simple SDK behind, for example, Paris Saint-Germain group and applications that we have a massive partnership. We have a goal to onboard the 500 million users that they have in the next 3 years on chain in a seamless way in many different solutions. We are building together the GIS, the Joint Innovation Studio in Paris, where I'm located right now. So the users and the company, we can create different and engaging solutions that is fun, good experience, and the user say, wow, that's awesome. By the way, for me to unlock this benefit, I need to learn more about it. And then he will tell the next one. He'll tell the next one, right? So I believe the best marketing tool is the happy customer. So nothing better than make a fan happy, make a fan recognized, and then he can pass along the good news. So that's a little bit of the compound strategy and massive effect. And there's more coming. That's what I can say. That's more coming and a few under negotiation. Pretty big.
Look, I'm super excited. Ultimately, I think you really understand the user experience. You really, really understand the data. And I think it's why you're making so many waves. Ultimately, you want to inspire people to want to educate themselves on this, right? And I think that's what you guys do so well. And I'm so very excited. Look, I could sit here and talk to you all day, Petrix. You know that I could, right? And I'm sure unfortunately, we have to wrap it up now, but I just want to say an absolutely massive thank you for coming on, sharing your insights with us. Ladies and gentlemen, please do make sure to give Petrix a follow. Make sure to reach out to Match Chain. You don't want to sleep on this one, I can assure you. So Petrix Barbosa from Match Chain, thank you so much for coming on, my friend. I'll see you again soon, and take care of yourself.
Thank you so much, everyone, the whole Bourbonnais community. Thank you, Reese. Love you guys and appreciate full support and all care that I have for me, my chain, and my team.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much.